What became so popular at your school that teachers had to ban it? When I was in 7th grade, this kid named Alex brought these tiny rubber balls to school. They were maybe half an inch wide, came in different colors, and cost like 50 cents each at the dollar store downtown. Nothing special about them, right? Wrong. These things bounced like they were made of pure energy. You could drop one from shoulder height and it would bounce back up to your face. Drop it harder and it would hit the ceiling tiles and keep bouncing for like 30 seconds. Alex started selling them during lunch for $2 each, making a 300% profit. Kids went absolutely insane for these things. Within a week, every single student had at least 3 bouncy balls in their pocket. The hallways sounded like popcorn machines between classes. Teachers tried telling us to put them away during lessons, but we'd just bounce them quietly when they weren't looking. During math class, kids would drop them behind their desks and watch them ricochet off walls and chair legs. In English, you'd hear these tiny rubber sounds ping-ponging around while Mrs. Foster tried to teach grammar rules. The real chaos started when someone figured out you could bounce them off multiple surfaces in sequence. Kids would throw them down the main stairwell and watch them ping-pong between the metal railings like pinball. The cafeteria became a complete war zone during lunch with hundreds of tiny balls flying everywhere, bouncing off tables and hitting people in the head. But then Marcus, this 8th grader who thought he was the coolest kid alive, had what he called a brilliant idea. He brought a massive bag of 50 balls to school and organized the first ever bouncy ball battle in the gymnasium after school hours. 2 teams, each person got 10 balls. Last team with balls still actively bouncing won the whole thing. It was like dodgeball, but way more chaotic and unpredictable. The gym floor was completely covered in tiny rubber projectiles bouncing in every direction at different speeds and heights. Word spread through school like wildfire. More kids started bringing entire bags of balls from home. The battles got bigger and more intense every day. Pretty soon we had organized tournaments with brackets posted in the bathroom stalls and everything. Kids would spend their entire weekly allowance buying ammunition for the next battle. The teachers had absolutely no idea what was happening because we only did battles after school hours. They just knew the hallways were getting progressively louder and kids were acting increasingly weird during regular class time, constantly checking their pockets and whispering about battle strategy and ball inventory. Everything changed on a Tuesday morning in October. During 3rd period history class, this kid Tyler accidentally dropped his entire personal collection while reaching for his textbook. 27 bouncy balls scattered across the classroom floor like colorful marbles, each one bouncing in a completely different direction. Mr. Patterson tried his best to keep teaching about the Civil War, but the balls were still bouncing everywhere around his feet. Every time he'd accidentally step on one, it would shoot across the room like a bullet and nail someone in the back of the head. Kids were laughing so hard they literally couldn't breathe or focus on anything else. Then complete disaster struck our operation. The principal was walking by our classroom during a meeting with some important school board visitors when a bright red ball bounced right out the open door and smacked him directly in the face. Not hard enough to hurt him, but right in the nose in front of all these fancy education people. He stormed into our classroom looking like he wanted to personally murder every single one of us. His nose was bright red and he was holding this tiny rubber ball like it was evidence in a major criminal investigation. Within 2 hours, every single bouncy ball in the entire school was confiscated by teachers doing locker searches. They announced over the intercom that possession of any bouncing spheres would result in immediate detention and parent phone calls. Kids were literally crying as they emptied their lockers and backpacks. The weirdest part was what happened to all the confiscated balls. The head janitor had to collect hundreds of them in this giant cardboard box that sat in the main office like some kind of rubber ball graveyard. He said he'd never seen anything like it in 30 years of working at school. 3 days later, Alex tried to restart his business as an underground bouncy ball market. He was selling premium balls in the bathroom stalls during lunch periods, whispering about special high bounce models imported from different dollar stores across town. The kid got suspended for a full week and his parents had to meet with the principal. By December, the whole craze was completely dead and forgotten. Kids moved on to trading cards and fidget spinners or whatever the next trend was. But for 2 solid months, our entire middle school was completely controlled and terrorized by 50-cent rubber balls that turned us all into tiny agents of chaos and destruction.